Hi, this video is going to be about my recording gear that I'm using at home when I'm recording music. I doesn't really use a lot of stuff. I have some, basic, well, of course some of the stuff is very expensive, but you don't need as expensive stuff that some of my gear is to get started to record music, that's for sure. You don't even have to have an amplifier or a cabinet, or you don't need any pedals or anything today, because you can do the most stuff by just buying an external audio interface, and you use the software to put on some effects and all that kind of shit. I've been thinking about making a video like this for quite some time now. I remember I did a similar video a couple of years ago. It hasn't really changed a lot since then, but I thought I'd go ahead and make a video anyway. The past year I've been doing some simple recordings, just to have fun, and this is the YouTube thing is all for fun, so that's something that is very cool. We are going to take a look on some of the pedals that I have on my pedal boards right now. We're going to take a look on what type of audio interface or external sound card I'm using. We're going to take a look on what the bass amplifier I'm using. We are going to take a look on what guitar amplifier I'm using here at home when I'm recording, and what type of cabinet I'm using. We are going to take a look on what type of microphones I'm using when I'm putting this one in front of my guitar cabinet. We are also going to take a look on what guitars I'm using. We are not going to look at all my guitars, but we're going to look at the guitars I'm mostly using when I am recording. So that means not the guitars I'm using for YouTube videos, but the guitars I'm using when I'm recording. So that's pretty much it, what this is all about. And we also can take a look on my studio monitors and all that kind of stuff. I'm currently in a move of my studio because I actually have two places right now, so I will only have my studio in one place. So it's kind of like I have all my stuff in here right now, but it's looking like a mess in here. So this room will not be used for studio recordings in the future, so that's why it's kind of like a little messy here right now, so you have to excuse me for that. So anyway, I thought we'd go ahead and just take a look on the amplifiers that I'm using currently. So yeah, let's get started. So this is my Marshall DSL 100H, and I also want to apologize for the focusing noise that is bugging me. I will solve that with an external microphone as soon as possible. So this is my Marshall DSL 100H right here, and this is what I'm using for recording here at home most of the times. And this is my Angle 4x12 cabinet right there that I'm using for this Marshall right here. And this is actually it has vintage 30s speakers in there, and it weighs about a ton or so. Well, not maybe a ton, but it weighs a lot actually. The good thing about this cabinet is actually that it's such a great build that the sound that's coming out of this cabinet is so super awesome that I wish everyone could have one of these, because it's such a good cabinet. So yeah, and what I'm doing here is actually, when I'm recording, I actually dial in the stuff in here on the pots on the Marshall so that it sounds the best, and then I put some piece of tape on there where I type the volume and all that kind of stuff, so I know exactly where it's supposed to be. If I have to, you know, if some of this stuff gets changed, I just can't know what it is, because if I'm working on a song and the amplifier gets changed, volume or, you know, presence or everything like that, it will not sound the same. So that's exactly what it is. This is my microphone right here. This is a Shure SM57 right there, and I have 2 sweet spots right there. So I always do 2 tracks when I'm recording guitar right here. So come on, focus now, god damn it. So this is sweet spot number 1 right there. There's a piece of tape with number 1, and that's sweet spot number 2 right there. So I can easily just go ahead and put this one on the side of the speaker right here, and I like to angle it a little bit like that. That gives a very heavy sound. So what else do I use in here? I actually use a room mic as well. This is a Rode NT1. So this is a condenser microphone, which means it's running out of 48 volts or so. This is a perfect match right there for you know, picking up some of the sound in the room here. So what I do, I actually try to put this one in different places in the room here, so I get different types of sound from the guitar. So whether I using just one spot right there, I use this one as a second track and I blend them together to get this super awesome sound. So, and this little Marshall right here is something that I'm thinking of recording something with in a very close period of time here. This actually is a come on, focus now. It's too little light in here for it to focus. So I'm thinking about making some records with that one. Oh, my phone. I'll be back soon. Yeah, so I'm thinking about making some recordings with this amplifier. This little Marshall stack right here is actually starting to be a little bit rare, actually. It's not very easy to get them anymore. So I think they stopped selling these brand new maybe 6-7 years ago or so. So yeah. So that's what I'm dealing with when it comes to the microphones. I think it sounds awesome, actually. This is the bass amp I'm using. This is my Hertz 250 watts bass amplifier right there. This is well, this is not really super high quality stuff right there, but it's a decent amp. And this is the 4x10 I'm using right here. I also put some tape on here to where I put the mic when I'm recording the bass right here. I also have one more cabinet. We're going to take a look on that one later, but I don't record with it, so that's why I only have the 4x10 in here. This one is pretty much straightforward. You kind of like, you got the EQ and all that kind of stuff. You got an active passive input right there. Nothing more fancy than that, but it's an awesome sound in this amp right there. So I also use, this is my Squire jazz bass right there. This is kind of like it's a great all-round bass. Sorry for the poor lighting situation in here. This is my bitch guitar. That's a Fender Strat right there that I'm using when I'm recording. I got another Fender Strat right there. I got a Squier right there. Yeah. So let's take a look on the pedals that I'm using. This is currently what I'm using right here. Sorry for the mess here, but I'm kind of like rearranging my pedals, so that's why it's looking like shit right here. This is my Korg tuner right there. It's a great pedal, but I don't really like it very much, so I will swap it for a Boss tuner, I think. This is my Dunlop Wah-Wah right there, and this is an awesome pedal, both for rock and hard rock and that kind of stuff. It has 2 channels, actually 3 channels. You got 2 crunch channels and 1 clean channel. You got the... well, I will make a full review of this pedal in a close future right here. This is my Boss noise suppressor right there. This is an awesome pedal. This is my Boss Super Chorus that I like to put on my clean tones to get a little nicer tone. I'm powering all this kind of stuff up with my T-Rex fuel tank right there, except for this one that I'm using a separate power supply for. Other than that, this is the only pedals I'm using. Most of the time I'm only using this one and this one, so I don't really need anything else. I'm sorry for the autofocus sound here, I hear it working all the time. I have a bunch of more pedals, but this is the most that I like to use just for now. So yeah, that's what it is. And this is the other cabinet for my bass amp. I don't use it, so I just have it right here. This is some other guitars right here. Sorry for the mess here. As I said, I'm rearranging everything. So this one right here, the first one, is actually my Gibson Explorer Government right here. This is my... does it say anything on there? That's my Epiphone Gothic Explorer right there. That's that one. This is my Corina, Epiphone Corina Explorer in there. And this is my Jane Doe Telecaster right there. And this is a Fender. This is a Fender Stratocaster right here. Yeah, so this is the guitars that I am not using very much, so that's why I have them right there. This is the guitars I'm using most of the time when recording. That's my 2012 Gibson Les Paul Standard right there. I put in some EMGs in there because I think they are awesome. This is my 2015 Gibson Les Paul Custom right there. I don't use that guitar very much, but I do use it, yeah. This is my 1993 Gibson Les Paul Custom. I don't really, well, I use it from time to time, yeah, I really do. So yeah, that's this is actually the audio interface I'm using right here. This is a great interface. I just put in the 2 microphones right here, input 1, input 2. I adjust the input level right here. I power it with the 48 volts right there. I got the volume for the studio monitors. I got the volume for my headphones. This is a switch for if I want mono playback or stereo playback. On the back I also have 2 other outputs right there. This is a great, this is the Focusrite 2i4, I think it is. Also, sometimes I'm using this one right here. This is my Presonus audio box right here. This is also a very awesome audio interface. I doesn't really use it anymore, but from time to time I do use it, yeah. So I used it before before I bought this Focusrite right here. And the studio monitors I'm using is these M-Audio BX5A. I know these ones are kind of like a little bit old now, but they are working super awesome, and it's a very, very good sound coming from these ones, and I'm very happy with this. So yeah, and sometimes I'm also using this one right here. This is an external audio recorder right here. You can use it in many different ways. You can actually, you have a line in there, so you can actually use the line in from a mixer board or anything like that. Or you can just use it like a memo or something like that. Just push record and it will record from these microphones right here. You can also play back what you recorded just by, you have some buttons right here you can use. So this is actually an awesome device right here. I think this is probably, I would say that this is, in its price range, I think it's the best thing you can get right there. That's what I think about it. So yeah, there you go. That's just a little video about what type of gear I'm using these days when I make recordings. And I also have to mention, of course, you need a computer. I only use Mac these days. I have 3 MacBook Pros. I'm only using one of them for recording music actually. It's a 2015 MacBook Pro, 2.9 gigahertz. That's what I'm using, and when it comes to the software, I'm using only Garageband because it's getting so powerful these days that I don't think you need anything else than Garageband. You can do your mixing there, you can do your mastering there, you can do everything in Garageband, and I really think if you have a Mac, I think you should check it out because it's awesome. Also, I have some more amplifiers. I have some more cabinets. As you have seen in my previous videos, maybe a year ago, I think I have 4 or 5 4x12 cabinets. I have some Bugura cabinets. I have some Laney 4x12 cabinets. I have this Engel 4x12. I think I have one more cabinet. I'm not really sure. Also, I'm using Laney Ironheart 120H. I have done many videos of that amplifiers in the past, so I suggest you scroll back a little bit in my videos and you will see that I have a lot of videos with that particular amplifiers. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And when it comes to strings on my guitar, I'm using GHS strings, mostly 9s to 46 on all my guitars. I'm using, when it comes to guitar picks, I'm using these ones right here. See if you can get a good close-up zoom right there. Holy shit. Dunlop Tortex 0.73 millimeters. I buy these in a big pack. I think it's kind of like 100 or 120. Oh no, I think it's 72 in each package. So I usually buy 2 or 3 packs of those because I'm using a lot of picks. I mean, I play a couple of hours and I totally worn out one of these, so I'm using a lot of picks. When it comes to pickups in my guitars, I mainly use EMGs, active EMGs, because I love the sound, just as so many others do. I have some I have some guitars with passive pickups that I like very much, but mainly I'm using EMGs. And I also have some Fender Stratocasters with Seymour Duncan blackouts, which is also a very good pickup because it have a super high output, a higher output than EMGs. But mostly I'm just using it for this super metal stuff and all that kind of shit, which is not very often. So that's why I stick to the EMGs that has a little warmer tone and a little more bottom to it, so to speak. So yeah, that's a quick look on the gear I'm using currently and some of the guitars I'm using when recording. And you also have seen all my guitars in previous videos on my YouTube channel. So I think I own probably about 15 to 20 guitars that I'm using from, you know, kind of like on and off like this. Probably 5 or 6 of them are my main guitars, and that's the guitars you have seen around here right now. So yeah, if you have any questions, make a comment in the comment box down below here. If you're not a subscriber, I suggest you would make me very happy if you just click the little button down here below that says subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a thumb up. So until next time, take care now. Bye bye then.